Great. I would like to call the Pickering School Building Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Nicholson,
Present.
Dr. Alvarez,
Present.
Mr. Bertino, Member Castellanos,
Present.
Councilor Chakoudas, Mr. Donovan,
Present.
Ms. Drago, Member Gately, Ms. Gerardo, Mr. Kolokides,
Present.
Councilor LaPierre, Mr. Makua,
Present.
Mr. Mannion,
Present.
Mr. Marlin,
Present.
Mayor McGee,
Present.
Councilor Meany, Ms. Miller, Mr. Ridley,
Present.
Mr. Rittershouse,
Present.
Ms. Ruggiero, Mr. Smart. We have 11. We have a quorum.
Great.
I'll go ahead. I'll share my screen. Okay, quickly running through the agenda. We'll go through the meeting minutes. We'll give you a quick budget update. For the project update, we'll report on some neighborhood concerns the project has received and the responses to those. We've got some additional proprietary items. We'll remind everyone what that means when we get to it. We'll do a quick design update. RDA is not able to join today, but they did provide us with some bullet points of what they've got going on now and what they're going to do in the upcoming weeks. Brandon will give us a quick construction update. We'll go through this project schedule, the SBC meeting schedule, and then we'll talk about a groundbreaking ceremony that's coming up in September. So the first thing we've got is the meeting minutes from July 10th, which were sent around in the packet yesterday or the day before.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mike.
Any second?
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
And then Lynn, would you like to take everyone through the budget update?
Sure. Just wanted to give everybody a little bit of information on the project funding agreement. I did have a meeting with MSBA today. The agreement made it through legal and is on Mary Picketty's desk to sign, and we should be getting it back any day now. So in terms of our project budget status, we've committed 17% of the overall budget, and we've expended 7% to date. And we're about 50% through the 90% construction document set. We're getting ready to send the documents out for estimating within the next couple of weeks. So our cash flow is behind a little bit from what we originally projected, and that's mainly due to our late start on construction. It'll eventually catch up, but that's where we stand at this point. So we've received a few concerns through the project website and from City Hall about residents seeing an increase in rodent activity in and around the site. The project does have a pest control company that's local to the city of Lynn that has bait boxes all around the site. They did come back out recently and place more boxes, and are coming twice a week now because all the vibrations and everything have kind of stirred up the rats in the area. So, and then there was also a concern about construction trucks using Canomo Avenue. We did say that we would not do that. So that construction gate there has been closed down, and it will only be used for emergencies. We had a small period of time there where we had some trucks using that site based on when we were trying to get approval to cross over the MWRA line and get the bridges built. That's done now, so that construction gate will be closed and will only be used in the event of an emergency.
I see Mr. Mannion has his hand raised.
Yeah, just quick. This morning I was out running errands. I go down Magnolia a lot. I was sitting at the corner of Magnolia Broadway. Two of these trucks came in. They took that corner pretty quick. I'd like just to get it addressed now, to tell them to slow down a little bit. There is a bank right there that I use coming out for the ATM. Pretty soon we're gonna have kids, out on the streets. I know they want to get the loads and get back and forth. I was in a business. So I think if it could just be addressed once you get near Magnolia, to slow it down. That's my concern. Okay.
Thank you. We'll consent on tonight too, so they've heard
Yeah.
that. And
Yep,
we'll,
we will remind
I
everyone.
know it's their responsibility. Thank you.
Well, quick question about that. Brandon, what exactly a course of action for something like this?
We'll address it. We have daily stand-up meetings with subcontractors, remind them that any trucks coming in and out need to be mindful of speed limits, but especially being a little slower as they come around that corner. So
Okay,
we will keep our eyes on it. If anyone sees anything, we're going to address it as we do see it. And as new subcontractors come on site, it'll be a reminder when we onboard them.
sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
so this is just a diagram of where the bait boxes have been located. And as I said last week, they did add a couple more boxes. And they also added the twice weekly as opposed to once weekly monitoring the bait boxes.
Next topic we have are additional proprietary items. So everyone may recall back in the fall, there were a series of systems that for security that the city wanted, or specifically the school department wanted to be a particular make and model. And so in the state of Massachusetts, in order to accomplish that, we have to get a voting body to make a vote that those systems are appropriate for proprietary procurement. Sorry, a lot of P's. So that went well with the security systems. A few months after that, we learned about some technological systems that same thing Lynn Public Schools recommends, specifically for their audio enhancement, the audio systems in the classroom, which also function as the public address systems in the schools. And then security networking equipment, specifically the wireless access points and the network switches for those security systems. So these have been identified. The idea is we would present them to this body first, get your support. Then we'll help the superintendent's office draft a letter that will go to the school committee, and then the school committee will ultimately take a vote and hopefully approve these proprietary items. I have cut sheets and stuff. It's all very technical. I am certainly not the best person to speak to them or answer a lot of the questions, but these are all systems that are in the Lynn Public Schools, and for simplicity of maintenance and service and connecting with other schools, these are what are desired. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Yes, Corey.
Craig, just wondering if security, the actual security system, the burglar alarms and well, there's window contact doors and all that, is that part of the same bundle here? Same
No.
package, or that'll be separate, that'll be different?
Great question. So that was the package of products and systems that got approved for proprietary purchase back in the fall, and those were all Verkada is the manufacturer.
Yeah.
This would be just the kind of the technological support, so the wireless access points.
So network.
You got network stuff to support those.
Correct. Lynn, do we know if I know we had this conversation prior regarding like the shooting, active shooting alert. Did that ever made it to that package, the fall package?
We don't, we just have the camera monitoring and all that. It doesn't have the notification of the firearm or firing notification. It doesn't have that extra component to it.
Okay. For some reason, I thought we had a conversation that it was going to be a school, citywide system put in place, and this was going to be the first one, or the pilots probably. Mayor, am I incorrect here? I
Yeah,
remember this
so
conversation.
I think the Verkada system has monitoring technology. Dr. Ellis, do you want to speak to that? She on?
I think it has a lot of the capabilities, whether that particular point has been implemented or not. I'll have to go back and check on that.
I think I'm unmuted now.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so the system does have that capability, and if we, as far as we understand it, it was a question of whether we were going to turn, like, there are features that we can turn on and off, just like the AI recognition mode that we had decided we were going to keep off until we did some more research and verification because of our concerns with identification of our student population and those in our community. So we can certainly research that further and get back to you about the actual, like, how we would have to create a system and how we're going to pilot that and implement that.
I
And we'd
think
have to,
it's worth, if we have the infrastructure for it, with the climates in schools throughout the country. I think it's something that we should at least entertain.
It's
Whether
about monitoring as well, Flory. I mean, do they have the capacity to monitor? And
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and this is clearly a huge priority. I do think this is maybe more of a school committee discussion, because it's going to be sort of the policy for the district in terms of how we use this technology. But it is a great point and really important.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about the what we're looking to do with these proprietary systems? So I do not know that, I don't think a vote is necessary, but if this committee desired to take a vote sort of in support of these systems being proprietary, we could certainly put that in the record. And that's something that we can add to the letter going to the school committee.
I'll make a motion to make it proprietary, sorry. Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, I have it. Thank
Peas. Too many peas.
you. We got you. We got you.
So as I mentioned earlier, the next topic is design update. Without RDA here, they put together this list of what they've been up to. So primarily they're working on the final estimating set, which is the 90% construction document set. They're going to send that out for cost estimating, both with Consigli and with their cost estimator on September 6th. They have been coordinating with the Lynn Police Department and Fire Department and the school department regarding security and life safety systems. And then they're taking all that information that they're learning in those meetings, making sure that it's represented in those construction documents so that will be included in that cost estimate. They intend on scheduling a meeting with inspectional services. They want to review the material finishes and equipment that are going to be in the school, specifically with a mind towards maintenance and upkeep. Make sure that it's all appropriate and is what the school and the city wants. RDA has John Bartecki on their team, and he's been, now that construction is underway, he's been visiting the site twice a week, primarily to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Also, sort of in parallel, that left field has an on-site representative who's there 5 days a week. RDA has been coordinating with left field and the city on the MSBA's 60% CD review comments. So the 60% CD package was submitted. MSBA reviewed it. They wrote up a list of comments and questions. And so now we've got 2 weeks to respond. And so we're in the middle of that. And then lastly, once school has started, RDA is going to meet with Principal Rittershouse and the department heads to make final corrections, present the typical room layouts, offices, classrooms, conference rooms, and make minor adjustments, make sure that they've got everything in there that's needed in order to support the operations and educational activities. So that's what RDA has been working on and will continue to be working on prior to our next meeting. Any questions? Next, we've got a construction update. Brandon, I've got this image here and then also the construction photos you shared.
All right, so this overall construction plan, our logistics plan, you'll see how we have temp fences and stuff set up right now. We've worked through our SOE. It is all installed and fully set as of end of day Tuesday. So the hammering that was happening to set those sheets should be complete now. We're moving into accepting deliveries for our retaining wall at the backside of Sisson tomorrow and Friday. So we can start that work the beginning of next week. And then our next big activity that you're going to start to see after some final approval of some soil packages with landfills is really start to see the soil piles that you see stockpiled up being hauled off site for disposal. On the left, you see a shot. This was from the beginning of last week. Prep sheets are done. Now we've started to remove the soil at the backside of Sisson to allow for that retaining wall install, like I noted. On the right is the protection that we have installed for the existing MWRA easement, the full length of the 32-foot easement. I believe we have our Jersey barriers set up to prevent any sort of traffic over that pipe. These are a couple shots of the sheets. So on the left is where it continues from the new building behind the back of the existing school towards where that retaining wall and ramp system is. And on the right is showing the west side of what will be the new building footprint. Those sheets were all driven and cut down. And then I believe the last photo here is the first temporary MWRA bridge crossing that we set up. This is being monitored daily, was approved, stamped, engineered calculations with MWRA to make sure they were on board. We'll have another one being installed the coming week or so we can start creating the full cycle in the job site that we're going to have for the vast majority of construction.
Before we get to schedule, any questions for Brandon? Lynn, would you like to take everyone through the schedule?
Sure. This is our overall schedule. We're still maintaining completion of the school by the end of 2026. We are a few months behind in our early enabling work, but despite that, we think we can still maintain the mid-year opening. And I mean, as we had promised, we would have a temporary play area for Sisson. It's not exactly the way we had planned for it due to the late start, but the school will have access to a play area equivalent to the size that it originally had. So. And then just a quick overview of what's coming up. Our next SBC meeting is scheduled for the 18th of September. Our groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for September 20th at 10 a.m. On Friday. We have a lot of people coming to speak, both from the MSBA and the legislature. We also have our SBC meeting for October set for the 16th, and that's when we will be asking for a vote on submitting the 90% construction document submission to MSBA. And that will be in advance of actually making the submission on the 18th. And then again, just looking ahead, our November meeting is scheduled for the 13th. And at that point, we will be asking for a vote on the 100% CD submission. And we will make that submission on November 15th and then go right out to bid with the target of getting the GMP finalized in January.
As Lynn was mentioning, the groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for Friday the 20th, September 20th, starting at 10 a.m. It's going to be on that blacktop area, the asphalt area behind Pickering and Sissom, right next to the Wyoming Little League field. And in addition to the folks that Lynn mentioned, also State Treasurer Deb Goldberg will be speaking. So it should be an exciting time. And then at the end, we'll do a series of photos, with shovels and hats. Rich, I see you've got your hand up.
So just for my knowledge, so what packages have gone out, and do we have a timeline for when the other ones will be going out? Because that's what everyone's going to ask me.
So we put out the 2 bid packages already, and it's taken us through. Do you want to outline what we've already bid, Brendan?
And if you could just, nobody else may care, so you can just like email them to me or something, that would be great.
Oh, sure. And we have a early procurement package going out for some of the long lead items, and we've decided to include geothermal in that early procurement package as well. And then our final bid package, which will encompass everything that we haven't already bid to date, will go out in November 15th.
All right, thank you.
Any questions about the groundbreaking ceremony?
Not the groundbreaking, but I had a question. Can we do a time capsule for this project? Is that something, Lynn, have you seen around recently?
We do them quite a bit in school.
Okay.
So that sounds like a nice project that the Pickering Middle School students could put together and do.
Okay. Thank you. And I did have another question for Brandon regarding so September school starting. What's the process engaging those high school kids to the project?
So it kind of ties to Rich's question earlier. So we bought our structural package, we bought our site work package. We had held to, once that final package goes out in November, get back in touch with the Lynn vocational school to talk about directly getting those students on site.
Okay.
We'll need to know who those contractors are, and a lot of them are filed sub-bid, seeing as it's a public job. We will be including language in our supplemental instructions urging them to reach out and utilize any existing connections they already have. So we do have a plan in place to do what we can to try and get as much involvement as possible.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lorraine's got her hand up.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Am I off mute?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So Dr. Alvarez, could we possibly get somebody to have a project done for a time capsule with the middle school? Is that being done already?
No, we hadn't planned on that. We can certainly take a look and see what we could do. We just need a better idea of what the actual proposal would be, and we'd have to internally figure out who would do it at the school with students and be in charge of that. So we need a chance to meet with the principal and discuss that.
Okay, I was just curious because it sounds like a good idea. There's a lot of relics there at Pickering, the old Pickering. That would be nice for them to see.
You mean staff,
very-
Lorraine?
What?
Lorraine, do you mean staff?
Not the, no, I don't mean the staff. You know what I'm talking about. No, the old relic. I left, remember? I'm not there anymore.
I'm the last one.
The last of the relic. Yep. I'm just really happy with the construction. I drive by there often and I take a look, and I just want you to know that I'm very happy, and so on. The neighbors, they haven't heard a lot of confusion or any negative responses at all. So I thank you. That's all I have to say.
Great, thank you for that. In closing, just a reminder of our project website. Those images that Brandon walked us through will be added to the project website under the construction tab. Those should be up by the end of this week. And the idea is each week as progress continues, Consigli will take a few key shots to give a flavor of what's going on, and we'll put them on the website with the week they occurred in, so that folks can kind of, if they become interested, they can look at what's happening now, but then also scroll back through time and see progress as it unfolds. And that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. If you can make it, we'd love to see you at the groundbreaking. We'll try to take a school building committee photo, I'm sure. And
I'll be there.
good to have everybody in person. Good. Thank you, Flori.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
Glad
thanks,
to see it
everyone. Good night.
underway.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Night.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.
You.